So today's our microscope hackathon. We have 6 different microscopes and we've brought about 20 different types of plankton. And I thought of this because I wanted people to experience the joy of life in a drop of water, which is what I experienced when I invented this microscope. Before that, I knew really nothing about plankton, and once I saw these creatures that are usually invisible, to actually see them swimming and see the tremendous variety, I got so hooked on them. And then I found out how important they are to our life, producing 2/3 of the oxygen we breathe, and that they're the baby food to practically every species of fish. So then I felt this missionary feeling of wanting to spread the word of how important these plankton are to our lives. And I thought if people could just see them and hear about how important they are, they would love them as much as I do. So that's where I thought of doing this hackathon, where I could provide them with a variety of microscopes and creatures and basically make it open-ended, let them explore, but also give them a little bit of an agenda to capture something that they can share with others, because I want to spread this infectious idea of how wonderful life in a drop of water is.
So one of the great things about the hackathon today is that we've got a bunch of different people from a bunch of different backgrounds all coming together to learn from each other. We have computer programmers, but we also have microscope experts, we have students, we have biologists, and each of them bring to the table something different. But many of them have, holes in their knowledge, and they're learning about that here. So computer programmers may have never looked in a microscope before, may have never seen some of these tiny organisms, and so they're experiencing that here today.
So this hackathon is part of the outreach program of our NSF grant. And one thing I love about the NSF is there's this educational component to basically spread the knowledge we get from science and to encourage young people to get interested in science. And I've been really encouraged to see young kids running around with hot glue and plankton and lasers and inventing their own microscopes.
I am building a microorganism seeder.
My name is Nicholas Castano, and I came here to this microscope hackathon and trying to pull things apart with the tools that they gave us, and we're here trying to build a dark field microscope. We have a small dot of glue there in the middle to block the light in the center. What we're trying to do is then converge the light onto our sample with that part blocked out. And the reason we're doing this is because the samples that we're trying to look at are pretty transparent, so a lot of light goes through. And with a dark field microscope, we get a diffraction pattern through the sample, and so that's what we're trying to accomplish here.
Hi, my name is Krista, and I'm really excited to be here because I'm really fascinated about what you can do just using something that is made of simple material and cheap and affordable and so basic, and you can see really amazing things under a microscope like that.
As a computer engineer, it's really interesting to be able to go in and actually apply some of the different programming and hardware things we learn to an actual problem in a real life situation instead of just sitting in front of a computer in a classroom.
hackathon and really enjoying myself because I really know very little about science, and I'm getting to experience it for the first time in real live examples with microscopes, and we've gotten to see single-cell organisms that are swimming around in little petri dishes that I never realized there would be so much life in one little drop of water. So it's an awesome experience, and I'm really glad I got to be here. So thank you.
So what I learned today is actually how easy it is to kill these little critters. They're pretty fragile. If you keep them in a little, non-ideal situation, you can actually kill them. So I think it stresses the point that when you're trying to collect data from the environment, it stresses the importance of measuring on site in the field. And I think it's powerful to know that you can use, from today, cheap consumer-grade electronics to actually get these measurements from the field. So you can actually minimize sample perturbation and avoid killing these little critters that are so important to the environment.
This is my first time of really looking into the microscope. But the amazing thing is to see the amazing things that go on with our physical eyes. Life really does exist on a minute scale, and these things, these organisms, they have similar needs like us humans, and really understanding how they interact, how they move in the environment sure gives us a sense of responsibility that we need to look after these animals or organisms as well.
Usually we think of microscopy as something that's really expensive in a high-tech lab that's really inaccessible. But something today has really shown that even if you don't have much of a biology background, you can build a microscope yourself and learn about all of the amazing creatures that are around us every day.